The meeting room was silent, thick with tension. Eyes darted around the table, confusion painted on every face. But none were more stunned than Daniel Carter, the self-proclaimed king of the company, who had just been informed that the woman he had spent months belittling was, in fact, his new boss. Rewind 6 months. Carter Associates was a prestigious law firm in downtown Chicago, a place where power and hierarchy dictated the air people breathed. Interns scurried through hallways, paralegals barely took lunch breaks, and partners like Daniel Carter reveled in their dominance. It was a world of wealth, prestige, and unshaken arrogance. One rainy Monday morning, the firm welcomed a new janitor. She was a middle-aged woman, dressed in an oversized gray uniform. Her curly hair tucked under a cap. She introduced herself simply as Grace, and without much notice, she started her work. Wiping down tables, taking out the trash, mopping floors that high-priced shoes walked over without a second glance. But Daniel Carter noticed her, for all the wrong reasons. "Hey lady, you missed a spot," he sneered one afternoon, pointing at a place on the already gleaming floor. Grace looked up, her brown eyes calm, and nodded. Without a word, she went back to cleaning. That was just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, Daniel took every opportunity to mock her. "You're lucky to even be in a place like this," he chuckled one evening as she cleaned his office. "Some people never even see this kind of luxury." Grace smiled but didn't respond. She had dealt with men like him before. Arrogant, drunk on power, blind to the weight of their own words. But Daniel wasn't satisfied with just belittling her. He went further. One evening, as she was emptying the trash in the executive lounge, he deliberately knocked over a cup of coffee onto the floor. "Oops. Guess you've got more work to do," he smirked, watching her reaction. Grace remained composed, simply grabbing a rag and cleaning up the mess without a word. But deep inside, she made note of every insult, every sneer, every moment of disrespect. Then came the incident in the lobby. Late one night, Grace overheard Daniel speaking to a group of junior lawyers. People like that, they're not real contributors to society. "Just background noise," he scoffed, gesturing vaguely towards her as she mopped the floor nearby. The younger attorneys chuckled nervously, unwilling to challenge him but clearly uncomfortable. Grace continued her silent observations, but as the days passed, she noticed something else. Daniel wasn't just a bully, he was corrupt. Files that should have been confidential mysteriously disappeared from client folders. Expense reports were padded with costs that didn't add up. Clients were whispered about in hallways, their cases handled with an unsettling disregard for ethics. What Daniel and the rest of the firm didn't know was that Grace wasn't just the janitor. She was Grace Holloway, the majority shareholder of Carter Associates, a silent investor who had stepped back for years, allowing others to run the company. But recently, she had heard rumors about the culture rotting from the inside out. The condescending treatment, the power plays, the mismanagement, and now the corruption. She needed to see it firsthand, so she traded in her heels for sneakers, her tailored suits for a janitor's uniform, and walked the halls unnoticed. But she wouldn't remain unnoticed for long, because soon, very soon, justice was coming. Until today. Now standing in front of the conference room, she let the silence stretch before speaking. "For the past 6 months, I've worked among you. I've heard the comments, seen the behavior, watched how some of you treat those you consider beneath you. And I must say, I'm disappointed." Murmurs rippled through the room. Daniel shifted in his seat, his confidence cracking. "Mr. Carter," Grace continued, turning to him, "you in particular have made it very clear how little respect you have for those who don't fit into your world of power and privilege. You belittled me. You disrespected your colleagues. And worse, you upheld a culture that suppresses talent while elevating arrogance." Daniel swallowed hard, suddenly realizing what was happening. "Effective immediately, you're fired," Grace said, her voice steady. "And don't worry, I'll make sure every other firm in the city knows exactly why." Gasps filled the room. Security stepped forward. Daniel opened his mouth, but no words came. He had spent months talking down to the woman who now held his fate in her hands. As he was escorted out, Grace turned to the rest of the firm. "Carter Associates is about to change. If you believe in respect, hard work, and integrity, you'll have nothing to worry about. But if you think you can continue treating people as disposable, you might want to pack your things." She let the weight of her words settle over the room. For too long, the firm had been a place where only the loudest and most ruthless voices were heard. But no longer. Grace had seen the dedication of many hardworking employees. who had been overshadowed by the toxic culture Daniel Carter and others had fostered. She intended to restore fairness and ensure that the firm thrived not just in profits, but in dignity and respect. She addressed the board members directly. Change won't happen overnight, but it starts now. We will create an environment where talent, not arrogance, determines success. Leadership will be held accountable, and ethical practices will guide every decision we make. The staff exchanged glances, some filled with hope, others with uncertainty. But Grace could see the potential for something better. She extended a hand of collaboration to those willing to work toward it, and made it clear that there was no place for anyone unwilling to adapt to the new standard. As employees trickled out of the meeting, whispers of optimism filled the halls. A few came up to Grace, expressing their gratitude and pledging their commitment to her vision. That day marked a turning point for Carter Associates. These are the moral lessons from this video. 1. Treat everyone with respect. You never know the true position or influence of the person you look down upon. 2. Power should not breed arrogance. True leadership is measured by how you treat those who can do nothing for you. 3. Integrity over status. A workplace should be built on fairness, ethical values, and genuine hard work, not just titles and hierarchy. 4. Justice prevails. No matter how long injustice reigns, the truth will always come to light and set things right. 5. A new era had begun, and this time it would be built on something far stronger than arrogance, justice, fairness, and respect for all.
I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, share it with your family and friends. Comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.